It's time to break down more games at this year's Afcon tournament. Now on Tuesday, there are 4 games with Matchday 3 rolling on as teams look to book their tickets to the round of 16. Let's focus on 2 games starting in Group C. It's a match between Gambia, the Scorpions, and the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. If we look at the table for this group, the top 2 will play each other as well. Senegal being first, they have 6 points. Guinea are second with 4 points. Senegal is likely through as 1 or 2 in the group. There's an outside shot for Cameroon to be second. They're currently third with 1 point. Gambia are fourth with 0 points. It's very likely going to be these 2 teams, Cameroon and Gambia, fighting to advance as one of the best third-place teams in the tournament to move on to the next round. The odds for this game see Gambia as outsiders at plus 550. The draws plus 250. Cameroon minus 163. Over and under odds, over 2.5 plus 140, under 2.5 minus 188. Both teams to score yes, plus 150. Both teams to score no, minus 200. Let's give a quick recap of how these teams have done so far. Gambia got their tournament started, falling behind quickly against Senegal, being scored on just 4 minutes into the game. They took a red card in the first half stoppage time, and that did them in. Senegal scored 2 more goals in the second half, and it was a 3-0 loss for Gambia. They were outshot 14-12 and 6-2 in shots on target. On match day 2, they kept things much closer with Guinea for much of the game, but they conceded in the 69th minute and went on to lose 1-0. They were outshot 16-7 and 6-0. So they now have just 2 shots on target in the tournament so far through 2 games. For Cameroon, they also played a close game with Guinea in match day 1. They drew 1-1. Guinea scored first, and they took a red card. Cameroon drew level soon after with a Frank Magri goal. Cameroon led in shots 13-6, but the shot on targets were equal at 2 apiece. It was not as close in match day 2 versus Senegal as Cameroon fell behind 1-0 just 16 minutes into the game. It was then 2-0 in the second half. They cut the lead in the 83rd minute, and then Jean-Charles Castelletto scored for Senegal. He iced it in the 95th minute, and it was a 3-1 win for Senegal. The shots were equal, 5 apiece. Senegal led in shots on target 3-1. Look at some stats and head-to-head stats, more stats between these teams. There's only been 3 all-time meetings, and Cameroon is a perfect 3-0 between these teams. The most recent meeting came in 2022 in Afcon with Cameroon winning 2-0. The other scores were 2-0 and 2-1, so Gambia is yet to score against Cameroon historically. Gambia now has 4 straight losses. They're winless in 5. They have only 2 wins in 10 games. They've allowed a goal in 6 straight games, as well as in 7 of 8 games. They've allowed multiple goals in 5 of 6, as well as in 6 of 8. They've been shut out in 3 straight games, but prior to that run of 3 games, they had scored 7 goals in the 3 games prior to that. For Cameroon, they're now winless in 4 games as well, so also not in good form. They're 0-3-1 in those 3 draws. Those draws were all 1-1 scores, meaning both teams to score has now hit a perfect 4-0 in their last 4. They only have 2 wins in 12 games. They've allowed a goal in 10 of 12 games. They've scored a goal in 5 straight. They've also scored a goal in 9 of 11. And both teams to score bets have gone on a 7-4 run in their past 11. This should be a Cameroon win, even though they're struggling in this tournament. They're still the better team than Gambia. It could be both teams to score. Cameroon has seen a lot of those results lately, but then Gambia has not been scoring at all lately. So for this parlay, let's just go Cameroon to get on the score sheet, Cameroon to score. And we will pair it with one more game. It's Angola and Burkina Faso. This is Group D action between these teams. Unexpectedly, it's Angola, the Black Sable Antelopes, or the Palancras, Negras, sitting first in the group with 4 points right now, and Burkina Faso, the Etalons, right behind in second, also tied on 4 points. Then it's Algeria, who were the group favorites, with 2 points, and Mauritania fourth with 0 points. With Algeria unexpected to beat Mauritania as minus 275 favorites. Algeria, expected to beat Mauritania as heavy favorites. Both of these teams know they could still be knocked out of the top 2 finish in the group, with Mauritania. We'll be hoping that a shock upset over the Algerians could be enough to get them in as one of the third place teams. The odds in this group see Angola underdogs at plus 280, the draw plus 187, Burkina Faso favored at plus 130, over 2.5 plus 187, under 2.5 minus 250. Both teams to score yes, plus 137. Both teams to score no, minus 188. So far in this tournament, Angola fell behind early on match day 1 against Algeria. They drew level 1-1 though, with a Mabululu PK. That was their only shot on target in the game. They were outshot 16-7 and 3-1 in shots on target. On match day 2, they were involved in a much more open game, a wild result with Mauritania up 1-0, tied 1-1, up 2-1, up 3-1, and eventually going on to win 3-2. There were 4 goals within 15 minutes in the second half. There was much more shots in this game. They outshot Mauritania 19-14 and 6-4 in shots on target. Get Sandala had a brace, and that makes him the player with the most goals amongst all active Angolan players, so he could be worth a shot as an anytime goal scorer. For Burkina Faso on match day 1, they looked to be on their way to a 0-0 draw with Mauritania before a PK was awarded. Into stoppage time, Bertrand Traore scored in the 96th minute. Burkina Faso had the shots edge 11-9 and 5-4. Much like Angola, Burkina Faso's a match day 2 game. The goals were much more. The floodgates opened in scoring, but this time it was a late PK goal against them that cost them all 3 points. Burkina Faso led 1-0 over Algeria with a Mohamed Konate goal. The game was then tied 1-1. Burkina Faso got a penalty in the 71st to put them up 2-1. Traore again scoring, but Algeria this time got a PK awarded to them in stoppage time in the 95th minute to level this game. Algeria led in shots 15-6 and 4-3 in shots on target. Looking at head-to-head comparisons and stats with these teams, there's been 6 all-time meetings between them with an even 2-2-2 split. 4 of these 6 games have seen both teams to score. The most recent game came in 2018 in Afcon qualifying. Angola won 2-1. And then in 2018, CAF Nations Championship, it was a 0-0 draw. Coming into Afcon, Angola had neither scored or conceded in 4 games. They had 4 straight 0-0 draws. The draw is actually the most common bet in Angola games historically as well, going back quite some time now. They now have draws in 6 of 7 games. They're undefeated in 7. If we look back further, they've had draws in 12 of 18 games. They only have 4 losses in 29 games. So this is an Angolan team that rarely loses. But unfortunately for them, they also rarely win. They only have 3 wins in 18 games. For Burkina Faso, they're a team the complete opposite. They rarely see draws. They only have drawn 6 times in their last 26 games. They're in good form at 4-3-1 in their last 8. They've scored a goal in 7 straight games. Both teams to score has hit in 5 of 7 games. There's been 2 or more goals in 10 of their last 15 games. Now, we have one team that draws a lot, one that doesn't draw at all. A draw could be good, though, for both teams here. They could both settle for the draw and get 5 points and hope that's enough to get them both through as the top 2 teams. Angola's given up, though, 30 shots so far. They had 26 themselves, so there's been plenty of shots going both ways in their games. Burkina Faso, though, looking historically at how they play in Afcon, they have scored a goal in 16 straight Afcon games. I think if you needed a single bet, you could go for the draw, maybe the under. For this parlay, I'm going to hope there's just 2 goals one way or another. So we'll go Angola, Burkina Faso, over a 1.5 paired with Cameroon to score, coming in right basically smack on even money at minus 101 odds. That will wrap up my Tuesday best bet in the African Cup of Nations. Let me know what your bets are, where you're listening from, what you're liking, what you're not liking, who you think will go far in this tournament, and good luck with all of your picks in the Afcon this tournament.